We're finally at the last week of the Blacksmith Shiny Box sale along with the Pearl Blessing event. Since my previous video, we've also gotten some other pretty interesting packs that can be somewhat competitive with these Blacksmith boxes, depending on what you're looking for. We'll also answer some questions that have been asked since my previous video. As we all know from the past, the Blacksmith Shiny boxes have been one of the best RNG boxes to have been sold on the Pearl store. The 70x boxes being sold for 15% off will give you around a 126,000 Pearl value for the cost of only 27,965 Pearls, or a value of 94,000 if you only care about crons. This is the same as buying the items in this pack at a 78% discount or a 70.5% discount if you only care about crons. As we know, most of the items in this RNG box are very high value, such as crons, memory fragments, and stacks, which is a great thing for an RNG box. If you want a more in-depth analysis, you can see my previous video on these boxes. However, now that we know these boxes are good, let's move on to the most asked questions about these boxes. They were mostly about the Blacksmith Emberseals and which trade-in is better. In my previous video, I mentioned that the way I valued these boxes were using the 30x trade-in for one Ultimate Premium box, as that was the most popular trade-in at the time. However, there are two better trade-ins if you want value. The newer 60x trade-in for one Transcendent Premium Enhancement box is of course going to be better on average than the Ultimate Premium box. However, if we look at pure average value, trading in 5 seals for one Blacksmith Shiny box becomes the best, even if we only care about crons. The reason for this is because they just give so much more value on average, and you have a chance of getting some of these boxes and seals again. With that being said, the Transcendent Premium box is pretty competitive in terms of crons only, so it can still be a fine trade-in if you want that chance of getting the big 50x box reward. However, on average, it's still going to be worse than the Blacksmith trade-ins. So, now that we know what to do with Emberseals and generally know that the Blacksmith box has been one of the best RNG boxes that PA has released so far, what about the other packs in the store? Can they manage to be competitive with these Blacksmith boxes? Well, one of the best packs other than the Blacksmith box is the Edania Special Premium Pack for 30,600 Pearls. This pack contains 18 premium outfits with the choice of getting a 200 stack, 260 artisans, or an Ultimate Premium Enhancement box. The Ultimate box in general gives you the most value, but if you need the other items, they aren't a bad call. However, in this video, we will be using the Ultimate box to value this pack. Since the Ultimate box gives around 8,000 Pearls average value and 7,000 Pearl value comes from crons, this pack has a discount equivalence of around 55.84% for all items and 55.15% for crons only. Now, even though this pack has very little RNG and guarantees you get a set amount of crons, its discount equivalence is just so much lower that even those who are risk adverse may still prefer the Blacksmith boxes. On average, you're getting half the amount of crons for your pearls with the Edania pack compared to buying the Blacksmith boxes. With that being said though, there are two interesting little caveats that may make this pack a little bit better. The first interesting thing is that this pack is considered an apparel item and comes with its own 20% off apparel coupon per pack. The inherent value of a pack being considered an apparel item is that it can use apparel item coupons. These coupons generally have a higher percent off compared to regular all item coupons, as the items that are considered apparel are heavily regulated by PA. This Edania pack also costs 30,000 Pearls, making it a pretty good candidate for using coupons on. There is a 50% off apparel coupon from the loyalty store, which can save you 15,000 Pearls if you buy this pack. You can only get this coupon once per family, but we do have a long time before it goes away from the store, which does allow you to save it for future sales. However, if you do use it on this sale, this pack will of course have an incredibly high discount of 77.92% or 77.58% for crons only. This makes it arguably better than the Blacksmith boxes. However, it can only be purchased one time with this limited coupon that may be usable later. This coupon can make this pack a pretty decent deal though for those who dislike RNG and want a set amount of crons. Now, if you do buy one pack of this Edania pack, even at full price, you do get a 20% off apparel coupon. This coupon allows you to buy more of the Edania packs, but at a guaranteed 20% off sale. The value of these boxes using these 20% off apparel coupons are close to a 64.67% discount if valuing all items and a 64.12% discount if you only value crons. Even though this is lower than the Blacksmith boxes, it is nice as it completely bypasses RNG and allows you to almost guarantee how many crons you'll end up with. These extra 20% off coupons can be chained for all 5 purchases and even to another apparel item at the end. Now this path is good, but the big issue with this path, as mentioned in my previous video, is that the Pearl's Blessing event is still going on. The main value gained from the Pearl Blessing event isn't its bonus items, but its ability for you to continuously chain different coupons for more packs, including 30 to even 40% off coupons. Even though the Edania pack continuously gives 20% apparel coupons, that isn't really an exclusive thing, considering that you are given coupons to use on any pack, including the Blacksmith shiny boxes with the Pearl Blessing event. This unfortunately does bring in the difference in value between the Blacksmith boxes and Edania packs back to before the coupons, unless you have already finished the Blessing event along with its 4 resets. If that is the case and you no longer have coupons from this event, then this 20% off coupon may be very good and valuable for you. With that being said, this brings us to the second caveat, which is for people who want to sell Pearl items directly for silver. Now, selling items directly onto the central market is generally not recommended, as crons themselves is what most endgame players look to spend silver on. On top of that, there are generally more efficient ways to convert crons and outfits to silver, such as self-enhancing. This is without mentioning that cron outfits are generally more expensive to buy using pearls compared to crons from RNG boxes like we calculated earlier with the Edania pack and Blacksmith shiny boxes. Now with that out of the way, it can still be okay for some players. Players who are newer to the game and don't have some of the required setup to enhance, or even the knowledge, may end up wasting a lot of their crons and the perspective value doing random things, so selling outfits could be the better path. If you are someone who falls into this category, the better pack becomes very easy. The Blacksmith boxes gives mostly raw crons, which can't be sold on the Pearl store. The outfit packs that they give are taxed at 35%, which makes them incredibly bad to sell. They do give some memory fragments, but not enough to compete silver-wise. The Edania packs are mostly premium outfits, and they can just be listed on the central market. There is a bottleneck of max outfits you can sell per week, but selling them should be instant up until that cap. Sure, the expected Pearl to Cron ratio may be half, and you are getting less silver selling on the market, but as mentioned earlier, this can still be preferable for some players. With that being said, what is the general consensus for the last week of the Blacksmith boxes? Well, if you are looking for the cheapest way to get crons and other items, the Blacksmith boxes along with the Pearl Blessing event is still going to be the best. The Edania pack can be okay with the one-time 50% off coupon, but is generally less cron for your pearls. However, if you want to sell outfits straight to the central market for silver, this Edania pack will be your best bet. The Edania pack is also pretty decent if you've ran out of the Pearl's Blessing event with its 20% coupon, but definitely not a must buy as Blacksmith boxes, even without the coupon, are still pretty good. But that's basically it for this video. With the Blacksmith boxes ending this week, we are looking forward to what PA does in terms of sales, as they may finally be able to do more creative ones. With that being said, with the increase in silver gotten from PvE, I do expect PA to add in something new in the future, maybe for an event like Black Friday or Calpheon Ball. Definitely look out for those, and we will make a video on that if it ever does come out. If you have any additional questions, feel free to comment on my YouTube videos or even join my Discord server. I'll always try to answer questions I see there. Either way though, I do hope you all learned something from this video, and I hope to see you all next time.